All right, guys. As you all know, we've been working on Excel spreadsheets and Microsoft PowerPoint last week or so. I picked the best of the assignments that we've done over the past couple of weeks, and Katarina and Haley, they basically had the best one. I may use it later on at the beginning of the school year in some of my presentations. It's that good. Katarina's going to present it today, and you guys pay close attention. There's something to learn from it. I'm going to help her along on some of the illustrations and kind of identify some of the work pieces, but she's going to give you a presentation now. Let's give Miss Katarina the floor, and there you go.
Thanks. Okay. Welding. Does anybody know what welding is?
Welding is heating up other metal to stick other metal together.
Good. Joining metal pieces or parts together using heat or an electric arc. There are different types of welding you can do, which include small, GMAW, FCAW, and GTOL. Does anybody know what small means?
Shielded metal arc welding.
Good. Small stands for shielded metal arc welding, or better known as stick welding. Can be used for manufacturing, construction, repairs, etc. This welding is performed by a welding machine with electrical currents and a welding electrode or welding rod. After each weld, you must chip off the slag or solidified waste material off the welding bead. Anybody want to identify this?
Electrode holder.
Good job. What about this?
Great piece collection.
There you go.
Connection.
Either one. Connection plant.
Yeah.
Plant. What do we call this?
Slag.
There you go. This is just showing you the burning of metal or the burning of the rod to metal.
Depositing.
Okay.
All right, guys. What would this piece be right here be below the line?
Your penetration.
Well, it would typically be the base metal base metal is basically anything that you're welding on or putting a deposit on. So you've got your weld metal, then your base metal, which you're welding to, your weld metal, and then the slag that you guys chip off all the time after it turns to a solid. What's this right here? Right here. What's that resembling? What does that kind of represent on this image? Yeah, the weld puddle. Right here it says molten weld pool, but well, I've taught you guys that it's the puddle. You remember I always say watch the puddle. You guys may not even know that this is going on while you're welding, but as this welds, the flux on the outside of that rod, it produces a slag, but it also produces a gas, just like MIG welding, kind of, or GMAW welding. It produces a gas that protects your weld from the atmosphere until it cools. Also, it's a slag. I guess it shows it right here as a gas shield. And then, of course, you've got the arc, which that's not a real good picture of the arc, but you guys get the idea of it. And then it says electrode covering. That's a little bit too technical for us. What do we call this on the outside of the welding rod? It's flux. And then you've got your core wire. So it's pretty simple, guys. I'm going to turn it back over to Katarina because she was struggling a little. I thought I might help her out some.
Thanks. This is a picture of a weld. Here's a picture of someone welding. It's what you guys do. You do a good job. Anybody know what small means? Or no? Anybody know the positions of small?
Flat, horizontal, vertical, overhead.
There you go. Okay. Flat is when a weld is performed along a flat surface of metal. It's the easiest type of weld to perform. Horizontal is when a weld's axis is a horizontal plate. It's often used for fillet or groove welds. Vertical is when a weld's axis is in a vertical or upright position, which is what we're doing right now, most of us. Overhead is when the weld is performed from the underside of the joint. It's the most complicated welding position.
any weld that lays on top of one and to the side of the other. You know, earlier in the year when we were doing the lap joint and the T-joint, or the, basically covers all the fillet welds. Yeah, but it lays on top of one base metal or member and on the side of the other. That's how you remember a fillet weld. I just figured I'd throw that in there. And the one is always the flat position. Remember these numbers to the position, guys, because you'll never hear on any kind of, or see on any kind of paperwork that it is like flat, horizontal, whatever. You'll never see that. It'll always be identified by these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Katarina will go through and show you. I'll get out of her way now.
Anybody know what 1G means?
It's a flat position groove weld.
There you go. What about 4G?
It is a overhead position groove weld.
Okay. What is a groove weld?
It's like fusing two plates together.
It's basically like our test plates.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some, does anybody know what type of weld this is?
Overhead.
Good job. That's really about that one. What does GMO stand for? Anybody?
Gas metal arc welding.
Good job. Okay. Anybody want to read? No? Okay. GMO stands for gas metal arc welding, or better known as MIG welding. An electric arc forms between a wire electrode and heats up the metal, causing them to melt and join. Argon, helium, carbon dioxide, and oxygen are the 4 most common used gases for this type of welding. It's typically used for simple caps of metal. What is this?
It's a MIG welding process, pretty much.
There you go. What do we use inside of a MIG welder?
Electrode wire.
Okay. MIG welding.
What was this piece right here again, guys?
Your base metal.
Base
The
metal.
base metal, exactly. It calls it the grounded workpiece here. It could be that, but it's always a base metal, whatever you're welding to. You've got your arc right in this area right here that basically is what fuses the metal together. It's a short circuiting of electricity basically to melt the wire. The metal droplets, you can't see it when you're actually doing the MIG weld, and everybody in here has done some of it. But the wire doesn't actually touch the metal. It burns off just before it gets to the metal, and that's where you get the droplets from. Just the same as I showed you on the stick welding a minute ago, what have we got going on right here?
Gas shield.
That's the shielding gas. What are they?
Argon or,
I heard it. Helium, what's one, Haley?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
One more. Oxygen.
The gas we use in the shop mostly is 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide. If we're doing aluminum, it's always 100% argon. I often don't tell you this enough. I don't go into enough detail telling you guys this, but because a lot of times I just do it. But now we've got the shielding gas. What does it do? What does the shielding gas do again?
protects the weld.
From
Environment.
outside contaminants. What's the two that are bad?
Air, water.
There you go. Water's close, but there's two things that we're breathing in right now that are really, really.
Hydrogen and
Anybody?
Carbon dioxide.
Hydrogen, oxygen, H2O. What is that?
oh, this is
Yeah. When he said water, he was on it. He just didn't understand it. But we're breathing like parts of hydrogen and oxygen right now. Well, they can actually turn into water and cause your weld to crack. It's a little more than we're going to get into today. I could go on forever about it, but Katarina, I've interrupted her enough. You've got your welding gun right here that the wire's coming through, and then the nozzle. What does the nozzle do?
just holds it all together.
Yeah,
Make
it just,
sure it gets
it
to-
forces the gas around and even flow around your wire. You've also got a diffuser and we change them all the time out there.
Tip.
The tip, contact tip. We just call them a tip. A lot of times we get into slang terms, but it's a contact tip. So inside of this, in a different illustration, would be a diffuser, which distributes the gas out even and lets the nozzle carry it down. And then we've got a contact tip to keep your wire flowing. I'm sorry, Katerina, I just can't help myself.
It's okay. It's okay, you're the teacher. Somebody tell me what this is, without looking at the word.
That is a power source.
Good job. What is this?
You're shielding gas.
Okay, close enough. The gas cylinder. Right here, Kendrick's said a bunch.
Space needle.
There you go. And this is the gun that you use, that we just explained. There's an example of a MIG weld. And there's someone MIG welding. FCAW. Who knows
Flux
what's-
core arc welding.
There you go. Good job. Anybody want to read now?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. FCAW stands for flux core arc welding, as Wesley just told us. This welding is an automatic arc welding process that requires continuously fed flux wire. It can be used as alternatives similar to small. Requires less skill than other welding types. There's a
All right.
picture of that, which,
We haven't done a lot of this
yeah.
yet at this point, but this is kind of the new, this came out in probably the mid-nineties, late nineties, got really popular. They thought they were gonna do away with shielded metal arc welding and MIG welding, both with this one type of weld, but it didn't work out that way. I remember when they were actually starting to incorporate this and they were pushing it hard. You're kind of getting the best of everything with this. If you notice, this is your wire right here. It's got a flux coating on, or it's got a wire coating on the outside of it. It's a tubular type electrode. On the inside of it, it's got what? Think about it, FC.
Flux.
It's got a flux core to the wire. That's why they make it as a tube, because it's got flux inside of it. But it's also got what coming around the outside? Gas. They call it a dual shield. It's a dual shielded process. You've got the flux core wire and you've got the gas. It's extremely hot. The light is extremely bright. One of the downfalls to it is when it's windy outside or something, it'll blow your outside gas around. It penetrates really deep. It's a semi-automatic process, which means it's basically like a stick weld you can feed with a wire. You know what I'm saying? You get the advantages of stick welding with the semi-automatic process, the speed and the production of MIG welding. They thought this was gonna, one thing fixes all. They thought this would be, everybody would be doing this everywhere. But they learned over time that there were a lot of disadvantages to it. One of them was, that in multi-passes, you had to go back and chip slag. You had to chip slag from it. So that meant before you went back and laid another weld, you had to chip slag off of it, which means in a shop environment, it kind of slows you down a little bit. And, you know, it wasn't what they thought it was gonna be, but it's still highly popular. When I was working in the field, we used them a lot. So, I'm gonna get out of Katarina's way. The setup is basically just like a MIG weld, except for you use a tubular wire that has flux in the inside of it. All right, Katarina, I'm sorry. If you want a break, Haley helped you with this presentation. Let her take over and do some of it.
No, that's okay.
She don't want to? All right.
Like Kendrick was saying, the reason it didn't like overtake MIG and stick is because of the slag. Because MIG, you don't have to chip slag, but you gotta know. Okay. And earlier it said that it's similar to small. And what does this look like, guys?
Like a
The
stick.
rubber.
Exactly.
What does that favor, what does that illustration look like?
A groove weld.
A groove weld that a lot of us are working on it should be trying to pass at this point in time.